Right now, your brain is feeding you one of its oldest lies, that the you reading this is the same solid you who woke up this morning and last year and as a child. It feels obvious. It is mostly a story. Look at the back of your hand. It feels like it has always been yours, but almost nothing in it is the same stuff it was 10 years ago. The skin, the muscle, the blood, quietly torn down and rebuilt while your brain kept whispering, "Still you, still you." That whisper is an edit. Your brain hides the swap so completely that you never feel it happen. So here is the question it does not want you to ask. If almost every part of you gets replaced, are you even the same person you used to be? To get there, we start with a ship. The ancient Greeks told of the ship of a hero named Theseus, kept in the harbor for centuries as a monument. Remember it, we come back to it at the end. But wood rots, so every time a plank decayed, they slid in a fresh one, plank by plank, until not one piece of the original ship was left. So philosophers asked, is it still the ship of Theseus, or a brand new ship just wearing its name? Hold that question, because it turns out you are that ship, and the rebuild is happening inside you right now. Most of history, this was just a thought experiment. Then science found a way to measure it, using a tool from one of the darkest chapters of the last century. During the Cold War, nations tested nuclear bombs above ground, flooding the atmosphere with a special heavier carbon called carbon-14. Plants breathed it in, animals ate the plants, we ate both. So that carbon ended up inside every one of us. And every time your body builds a new cell, it stamps it with the carbon level of that exact year. A scientist named Jonas Fresen realized he could read those timestamps to date the cells inside a living human. What his team found, published in the mid-2000s, is genuinely hard to sit with. Most of your body is far younger than you are. On average, much of it is only around a decade old. Back up because this part breaks people. Your gut lining renews in days, your skin in weeks. Many red blood cells live only a few months. So the version of you from years ago is physically mostly gone, demolished and rebuilt without you ever feeling it. You are not a fixed object. You are more like a flame or a river that keeps its shape while the material pours through. Then Friesen checked one specific place, and the whole story flipped. He looked at the neurons in the cortex, the deep core of your brain, and research suggests those core neurons are essentially never swapped out. They were there when you were a baby. They are about as old as you are. So the cells that hold who you are, your memories, yourself, may be the one truly original part of you. The body is the river, the mind is the one stone it flows around. Comforting, right? Except, the thing those old neurons are storing, it is nowhere near as solid as it feels. Feel like your memories are a recording. Press play, and the past replays exactly as it happened. That feeling is wrong. Your brain rebuilds the past from fragments, fresh every time, filling the gaps with guesses, then saving over the original. To show how flexible memory is, psychologist Elizabeth Loftus ran a famous study. Her team gave volunteers a few short stories about their own childhood, supposedly from their families. Most were true, but one was completely invented. As a young child, you got lost in a shopping mall. It never happened. And yet, after a little prompting, around 1 in 4 people came to remember it as real. Rehook, because this is the eerie bit. They did not just agree, they added their own details. Color of the floor, how scared they felt, the kind stranger who helped, all invented, all vivid. The fake memory felt exactly as real, from the inside, as a true one. So stack that on everything else. The memories that prove you are partly handmade. The thread to your past self is thinner than it feels. Okay, but surely your personality is stable, your core, the real you under all the surface stuff, right? Here is one of my favorite studies because it catches almost everyone in the same trap. In 2013, in the journal Science, researchers including Koidbach, Gilbert, and Wilson surveyed over 19,000 people, from teenagers up to seniors. They asked, how much have you changed in the last 10 years, and how much will you change in the next 10? At every age, people said the same strange thing. I have changed a lot up to now, but from here I am basically finished. Teenager or 60-year-old, all equally certain. and they were all wrong in the exact same way. Researchers call it the end of history illusion. We treat right now as the finish line, but it is only ever a mile marker. You will keep changing your whole self for the rest of your life. Here it gets stranger. So far we assume there is one single you in there. What if that one unified self can be split clean in two? Decades ago, to treat severe epilepsy, surgeons cut the thick bundle of fibers connecting the brain's two halves. Researchers like Roger Sperry and Michael Gazzaniga noticed something deeply unsettling. Two halves had, in a real sense, stopped fully talking to each other, and each half now knew different things. Show an image to only one side, and the right brain sees it. But the verbal left brain, the one that talks, has no idea what it was. So the patient's hand could point to the correct answer, while their mouth honestly insisted it had seen nothing. Now here is the part that should rearrange how you think about yourself. Right brain was shown a command, like stand up and walk, and the person got up and walked. The talking left brain had no clue why, but asked to explain, it did not say, "I don't know." It instantly invented a reason. "Oh, I'm just grabbing a drink." It made up a smooth, confident story for a choice it never made and fully believed it. Gazzaniga called this part of the left brain the interpreter. Its job is to spin everything you do into one story. Sit with that. Your feeling of being one smooth, unified self may partly be a story your brain tells after the fact to make sense of you. Neuroscientists call this the narrative self. And this is the deeper pattern under everything in this video. Your brain does not hand you reality raw. It writes you a story and hands you that instead, edited to feel seamless. The single solid self is one of those edits. You are not watching reality. You are reading the brain's draft of you. Sounds modern. Except a philosopher landed on almost the same idea 300 years ago. David Hume went looking for his self underneath the thoughts and feelings and never found a fixed, solid self. He only found perceptions, one after another. So you are not a thing that has experiences. You are more like a bundle of experiences, tied loosely together and always changing. No captain at the wheel. So neuroscience and philosophy keep circling the same place. The solid, unchanging you might be the brain's best illusion. Which raises a strange question. What actually has to survive for you to count as still being you? Imagine a teleporter, the science fiction kind. The philosopher Derek Parfit took it deadly seriously. The machine scans every atom in your body, perfectly, down to the last detail. Then it destroys the original you on Earth and instantly builds a perfect copy out of fresh atoms on Mars. The copy wakes with all your memories, certain it is you, and walks out. So did you just travel to Mars? Or did you die in that booth and a stranger who thinks it is you walked out the other side? Rehook, because Parfit pushes further. Suppose the machine builds the copy on Mars perfectly, but forgets to destroy the original. Now there are two of you. Both have every one of your memories. Both feel like the one true original. So which is the real you? Parfit's radical answer, the question is broken. There may be no deep fact about which one is really you. And then his quiet, freeing conclusion. Maybe personal identity is not what matters in the first place. What matters, he argued, is psychological continuity, the flow of memories and personality carried from one moment to the next. On that view, the copy on Mars carries you forward just as well as ordinary survival. And here's the part that should give you a small, cold shiver. You already trust exactly this every single night. In deep, dreamless sleep, your stream of consciousness goes dark. The story of you stops. Then every morning, it restarts, and you assume, without a flicker of doubt, that the person waking is the one who fell asleep. But you never feel the join. Same under deep anesthesia. The lights go out, come back on, and you take it on faith that it is still you. So the unbroken self you feel so sure of already survives going completely dark every day by reloading the pattern, not the substance. And one more twist blurs the boundary. Research increasingly suggests, and I'll hedge here, that the trillions of microbes in your gut may influence your mood and behavior. Scientists call it the gut-brain axis. The science is young, so take it gently. But if even your moods are partly shaped by life forms that are not technically you, then where do you end? So let me gather the So, in what real sense are you the same person who blew out the candles on their 5th birthday? Almost nothing physical connects you to that child, and yet you still feel like one continuous person. Maybe that feeling is the answer. Not because the self is solid, but because the story never stops being told. You were never a thing. You were always a process. A pattern that holds its shape while everything it is made of pours through. Not the planks of the ship, but the shape they keep. Not the water, but the river. The melody, not the notes. And here is the part I find quietly beautiful. If you are a process and not a statue, you are never finished and never stuck. The you of 10 years from now is being built today out of what you choose to do and notice right now. So do not choose only for who you are tonight. Choose a little for the stranger you are slowly becoming. So yes, the solid self you feel is partly a story your brain writes, but do not hear that as a con. That story is what lets you wake up tomorrow and still feel like you. It is the kindest lie your brain tells, the one that keeps you whole while everything underneath pours through and changes. You don't see reality. You see the story your brain writes about it, and the unbroken you was one of its lies, told to keep you sane. The next idea you take in becomes one more plank in the ship of who you turn into next. Follow mind stuff, and I'll show you the next lie your brain is telling you right now.